All right, we're just wrapping up the Sunday action in week 7 of the NFL season. I'm going to go through, give you my instant reactions from all the games on Sunday, what I saw out there, some really great games, awesome finishes. It was a really fun weekend, but let's just hop on into it with our London game. Okay, Jags smashed the Patriots 32-16, and this game honestly looked like it was going to be Jags are terrible, Patriots are terrible, Patriots are going to win this one. Drake May looked pretty good in this game, 276, 2 touchdowns. But the Patriots are just awful. The Patriots are easily the worst team in the league, I think. Jerome Mayo's a bad head coach, man. He just blames everybody else, blames Bill Belichick. This team sucks. They're poorly coached. They don't know what they're doing. Demario Douglas supposed to have a big breakout game for him. His tummy hurt. That was pretty disappointing. Hunter Henry, a nice day, but they can't run the ball. The defense is atrocious. Some life for the Jaguars. Doug Peterson not getting fired, potentially. He's going to make it back from London. Tank Bigsby, huge day on the ground without Travis Etienne. This is what we were expecting from Travis Etienne, like 100-yard, 2-touchdown games. Brian Thomas Jr. bounces back after a bad week last week. This is what the Jaguars should look like. I know the Patriots are awful, but this is what we were expecting to see from the Jaguars. They're still alive, I guess, 2-5. They're hanging around. They're not quite dead yet, but these really realistically aren't very good teams. Okay, Seahawks Falcons. This game was kind of close for a good chunk of it, but Seahawks lights out second half for them. Outscored the Falcons 10-0 in the fourth quarter, including a strip sack of Kirk Cousins for a touchdown. Cousins was all over the place, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. Geno Smith looking sharp, 2 touchdowns again. Kenneth Walker with the flu got into the end zone on his birthday. Oh man, what a day for Kenneth Walker. He was out there, DK Metcalf, 99 and a touchdown, had an awesome touchdown catch on that one. Kyle Pitts, welcome back. I talked about Kyle Pitts as he just 40-yard play, disappears again. 7 catches, 65 yards. More of this from Kyle Pitts. Drake London, 63 yards and a touchdown. Bijan over 100 and a touchdown. Really, it was just the turnovers that killed this team and the Falcons defense. I mean, I haven't been high on the Falcons defense. They're kind of a mid-tier unit. Seahawks needed this game more than anything. Bounce back spot. They had dropped 3 in a row. They were reeling bad. They needed this win. West to east. Very impressed with the Seahawks there. Had the 10 days off, and it looked like they took advantage of it. So Seahawks at 4-3, Falcons at 4-3. Both teams got everything still to play for moving forward. Okay, this was a weird one here. Titans jump out to a 10-0 lead, up 10-7 at halftime, but then the Bills turn it on in the second half, outscore the Titans 27-0. Mason Rudolph at quarterback, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Threw the ball 40 times. I don't know why you couldn't run the ball. 13 carries, 61 yards. I don't know why they couldn't run the ball against Buffalo's defense. Buffalo's run defense isn't very good. I guess they committed to stopping that. Bills also on the ground. James Cook, 12 carries, 32 yards. Did get a touchdown. Ray Davis, 5 carries, 41 yards and a touchdown. It's looking like we got a split backfield in Buffalo now. Keon Coleman, his big breakout game, 125 yards. Doesn't get in the end zone. Amari Cooper got in the end zone in his first game, 4 catches, 66 yards. And Josh Allen, he was awesome. 323 yards, 2 touchdowns. He wasn't doing anything in the first half. They really lit it up. The Bills needed this. They needed to lock back in. Team that's kind of been struggling a bit. And again, they struggled in the first half this week. This is the second half is what we needed to see from Buffalo. Defense was really good. Overall, I like where the Bills are standing here. They're probably going to walk away with this division because the AFC East is dog water. All right, the Bengals survive the Browns. The Browns 1-6 on the season. This has been a season for hell from Cleveland. Just all the expectations in the world, and they've done nothing. Deshaun Watson tore his Achilles there. Not going to say it couldn't have happened to a better guy, but it is what it is with Deshaun Watson. Joe Burrow struggled again. Did have 2 touchdown passes. But the Bengals just don't play well against the Browns. It was his first win in Cleveland since coming into the league. It's only his second win overall. They could not run the ball at all. At all. It was crazy how good the Browns' run defense was there. And the Stars really didn't pick it up. I mean, this game was 7-6 at halftime. The second half, T. Higgins had a nice touchdown catch. Jamar Chase got into the end zone. And Jameis Winston almost made something crazy happen, okay? Jameis Winston got the Browns into the end zone at the end there. I think the Browns are a live team, man, with Jameis Winston at quarterback. There's a lot of talent. The defense is not bad. The defense just needs some help from their offense. Nick Chubb got a touchdown, 11 carries for him, coming back from that catastrophic knee injury. So in one knee injury, out another leg injury with Deshaun Watson. And I think, Jameis, this is the best case scenario for the Browns, honestly. But Cincinnati, they're 3-4. They're in there, man. 3-4, but it's still a tough mountain to climb to get back into the playoffs. Okay, one of the best games of the day. Texans fall to the Packers 24-22. I mean, 7 lead changes in this game. Back and forth, a walk-off winner for Brandon, I'm a horrible human being, McManus. But the real story here is CJ Stroud, awful. 10 of 21, 86 yards passing. The Packers' pass defense is not good. They turn the ball over. They give up a ton of yards. Bottom third in passing yards given up. They couldn't throw the football at all. Dalton Schultz had one catch in the first quarter, I believe. May have been the second, but it was in the first half for 28 yards. That was it. Stephon Diggs couldn't do anything. Zero. A goose egg for my man Tank Dell. But Joe Mixon had an awesome day. 25 carries, 115 yards, 2 touchdowns for him. He took all the workload. Jordan Love's got a lot more Brett Favre in him than Aaron Rodgers in him. I'll just say that much. 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Again, had an unbelievable throw to Tucker Kraft in the end zone. Gets the team into position. Kicked the game-winning field goal. Romeo Doubs had a nice day as well. But this is a good Packers team now. Big win at home. Finally tested. Maybe the Texans aren't good against the NFC team on the road. Their 2 losses at the Packers, at the Vikings this season. Those are probably 2 of the best losses you'll see for a team with 2 losses so far. But all in all, I think these are just 2 really good teams. I think these are 2 good teams. Texans a little bit younger, need a little bit more growth to go through. Because maybe if this game's in Houston, the scores are flipped. But really, just entertaining, awesome game. Okay, this was probably the worst matchup of the day, and it was a terrible game to watch. 16-10, the Colts take down the Dolphins. DJ Mike McDaniel, awful head coach, man. He's overrated. I don't care who your quarterback is. You see everybody else who's a good offensive head coach, they can deal with a bad backup quarterback. They can get them to be productive. Can't do anything in Miami. Coming off the bye, this is what we get. 87 yard. Tim Boyle, Tyler Huntley. Like, come on, man. They ran the ball for only 77. I guess Mostert and A-Chain split it, so they ran for about 127 yards. You got to be better than that. The Colts run defense is terrible. Terrible. Awful. Anthony Richardson also sucks at quarterback. 10 of 24. This offense can't move the ball with Anthony Richardson. He doesn't throw the ball well. He's super inaccurate. It's so much better when Joe Flacco's in there. But he had 56 yards on the ground, so he was their leading rusher. So that feels good. I bet the Colts are really regretting trading those picks. Get it up, getting Anthony Richardson. He just doesn't fit this system at all. He's always hurt. He's super inaccurate. It's not the ideal. They thought they were getting a Jalen Hurts. They are not getting a Jalen Hurts and Anthony Richardson. Both these teams are bad. Somehow the Colts are 4-3. This is like the worst 4-3 team ever. Them and the Broncos, I can't believe that they're 4-3. These teams suck. These teams are off. All right, this was a fun one, a tough one for my boys in Minnesota. Lions take down the Vikings 31-29, but this was a heavyweight matchup, and it certainly lived up to it. Vikings jump out to a 10-0 lead. Lions were back with 21 unanswered. Vikings come back. It's all over the place. Everybody's coming back. Lions kick a late field goal with 15 seconds left. Vikings almost had a chance there at the end of the game. Just a really wild game. Big plays by offense, big plays by defense. Sam Darnold didn't look great in this game in the first half. Much better in the second half. Jared Goff was super efficient, super lights out there. A lot of short checkdowns, but then he'd hit the big throws when he needed to. Jahmyr Gibbs, awesome day against one of the best run defenses in the NFL. This was just a heavyweight fight, and somebody had to lose this game. I'm excited to see the rematch because I walk away from this game feeling really good about both these teams. Maybe a little bit concerned about Minnesota's defense, but they bowed up in that fourth quarter and second half, got a couple of critical stops, and the offense couldn't quite convert. But yeah, these are 2 just really elite teams at the top of the NFC. All right, Eagles take down the Giants 28-3. Daniel Jones benched in this game. Oh, Daniel Jones, just when some people think you got it in you, you just are horrendous once again. Malik Neighbors back from injury. He didn't do anything. This was just a horrendous offensive performance for the Giants. Eagles, not much better. Didn't score any points in the first quarter. Still haven't scored in the first quarter. Saquon Barkley was the story. 17 carries, 176 yards, and a touchdown in his return to New York. So that was kind of the big deal. A.J. Brown had a 41-yard touchdown. Devonta Smith, 1 catch for -2 yard. What the hell is that about? Saquon added another 11 yards receiving. So this was really the Saquon Barkley story and how incredibly inept the Giants were on offense. I mean, it was hard to watch. I don't know. I know we know Daniel Jones is bad, but this was just really bad. Drew Lock was not any better whatsoever coming into this game. They couldn't run the ball. The Eagles are a really good run defense. This secondary is not good, man. You should be able to throw against the Eagles, but another just horrendous performance by the Giants. All right, not a super interesting game here in LA. Rams walk away with the win 20-15. Aiden O'Connell breaks his thumb early in this game. Gardner Minshew steps in, throws 3 interceptions, very Gardner Minshew-esque. The last one was on the last drive. It was just bad. Stafford was kind of whatever. None of the receivers are back. Kyron Williams, bulk of the carries, 21 carries, 76 yards, 2 touchdowns for Kyron Williams. So that was pretty much the game. Cooper Kupp is expected to be back on Thursday, so that'll really boost up this Rams offense. Rams defense, they scored a touchdown on defense, had a strip sack for a touchdown. Better from them. They have been really bad this year, but again, the Raiders, yeah, they are the Raiders. Alexander Mattison, 23 carries, 92 yards. Brock Bowers, 10 catches, 93 yards. But this Raiders team has some pieces there. Max Crosby is going to get traded, hopefully, because he's awesome. It's just a poorly coached team. Antonio Pierce is not a good coach. And the Rams are just so beat up, so not healthy. They're running on fumes, it feels like, in Los Angeles. But they did manage to sneak out a win. Okay, Commanders wax the Carolina Panthers. And honestly, the big story from this one, Jaden Daniels leaves with a rib injury early in this game. Now, he did have 3 carries for 50 yards before he got hurt. Looking like it's not too serious. You know, is he going to be a long-term injury? Probably not, but could he be in doubt next week against the Bears? It looks like that is something there. So medium level of concern on Jaden Daniels. Marcus Mariota steps in, throws for 2 touchdown passes. Brian Robinson on the ground for another 71. Jeremy McNichols, a solid day. This was just an ass beating. The Commanders' defense is turning it on. I know the Panthers are terrible. The Panthers are probably the worst team in the NFL. I mean, Andy Dalton's bad. Bryce Young's bad. Chuba Hubbard got in the end zone for you fantasy lovers out there. But look at it. They threw for 89 yards. They had 89 yards receiving. That's crazy talk. They net of 85 yards for the Carolina Panthers passing there. Great job by Dan Quinn. This is where you start, though. Everyone talks about how bad the Commanders' defense is. I know they're playing a horrible team, but guess what? You got to stop horrible teams, and they did a really good job with that. The Commanders, I think they're going to win this NFC East. I trust them a hell of a lot more than the Eagles and the Cowboys. That's for damn sure. And, the Giants sent them to the moon. Terry McLaurin, only 98 yards. That sucks. Doesn't get over the 100. Zach Ertz caught a touchdown from Marcus Mariota. What year is it? But all around, just a thumping by the Commanders. And that's what you should do if you're a team that's for real and going to want to be a playoff competitor. Beat up on bad teams. And the Commanders did exactly that. Okay, in your marquee game from the late window, Chiefs take down the Niners in a Super Bowl rematch, 28-18. And honestly, the story here was both quarterbacks. Awful play by both quarterbacks. Brock Purdy, 3 interceptions. Patrick Mahomes, 2 interceptions. Both quarterbacks looked awful, but Mahomes made plays with his legs late in the game, had a huge run, had a filthy touchdown run where he truck sticked poor soul out there. You got to retire. I think it was Mustafa out there. He got destroyed by Patrick Mahomes out there. But Brock Purdy was bad. This is easily Brock Purdy's worst game as a pro. He looked very uncomfortable in the pocket. The Chiefs defense, we know, is probably the best defense in the NFL. They're at least one of them. They always seem to get stops. They couldn't get anything going on the ground. Now, they were pretty limited. Brandon Ayuk leaves. No Jawan Jennings. Debo goes out right away, so they were really thin at the wide receiver position. Shout out to Ricky Pearsall. My man got shot at the beginning of the season through the chest. He comes out and has his first NFL game, 3 catches, 21 yards. So that's a great feel-good story. Kareem Hunt off the couch, 2 tutties again, 78 yards. This is just like the Chiefs' grindy win. They just find ways to win games. They are the best team in the NFL right now, 6-0, the only undefeated left. First time they've ever started 6-0 under Patrick Mahomes. So this is uncharted territory. They're just racking up wins, man. They only got to get to 10 wins to get into the playoffs. And that's when the Chiefs are the scariest. But they're probably working towards that bye. They like that extra round off. Travis Kelce still looking fat out there. 4 catches, 17 yards. That's never going to get fixed. He's done. You gotta find something here. Noah Gray stepped up. Justin Watson had a nice catch for 8 yards. Tom Brady was gassing his ass up on the broadcast. But really, story here was just bad quarterback play, decent defenses, and the Chiefs are just flat out better than the 49ers. And finally, the Sunday night game, the Steelers dismantle the Jets 37-15. The Jets were up 15-3 in this game. 15-3, I believe. They were up. This looked like, the Jets are going to win this game. Not so fast. Let Russ cook. Russ, 264 yards, 2 touchdowns. Doesn't turn the ball over. Get another 100 on the ground from Najee and a late touchdown. So he got over 100 and a touchdown very late from them. Pickens goes over 100 and a touchdown. This is just, the Pittsburgh offense looks so much better with Russell Wilson at quarterback. Now, the first few drives were really bad, really choppy. But man, after that, it was smooth sailing. It just felt so much more dynamic. They were able to throw the ball downfield. Guys were getting one-on-one plays, and the ball was in a good spot, and it's softened up the run game. They were able to run the ball. I know the Jets' run defense isn't very good. The Jets' defense as a whole was bad, and it's been bad the last 2 weeks. It's almost like you fired your head coach, who is a defensive guru. Defense isn't as good. Aaron Rodgers, another 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. The second interception is not his fault. Hit Garrett Wilson in the chest, and it bounced off of him for an interception, and it was an unbelievable throw. Breece Hall has 100 yards receiving. Okay, Breece Hall has 30 yards rushing. That's not good, but they utilized him in the passing game. The Jets are just bad. The Jets are they're just awful. The Steelers are the real story here. Defense, awesome. Get some rest. Have an actual offensive unit going that can move the ball and score points. The Steelers feel like they could get really scary really quickly with Russell Wilson at quarterback. I know, freak out. I know what I saw out there. This team feels dangerous. They woke up feeling dangerous with Russell Wilson at quarterback, Mr. Danger Russ. But let me know what you guys think. What did you take away from this Sunday's action? What are you looking forward to on the Monday night games? Let me know in the comments down below. Again, if you haven't already, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. We got new sports content every single day. If you want to support the channel more, sign up for a channel membership. You get all sorts of access to cool exclusive content. Help support me, allows me to keep making this great content for you guys every single day. And if you want to go see one of your teams in person, check out SeatGeek.com, code after the review for $20 off your first purchase. That's SeatGeek.com, code after the review for $20 off your first purchase. Again, like, subscribe, and share, and I'll see y'all tomorrow.